It was massive, it was tough, and it was one of the deadliest aircraft of World War II. The P-47 Thunderbolt wasn't just a fighter, it was a flying tank. But did you know that many pilots originally hated it? Yet by the end of the war, they swore it was the best plane they'd ever flew. What changed? The P-47 was a game changer, redefining air combat and ground attack. It had the firepower of a battleship, the armour of a tank, and the speed of a fighter. But despite its legendary reputation, it had a rough start. Today, we're diving into the incredible story of the Thunderbolt, how it turned the tide of war, and why it's still considered one of the greatest warplanes of all time. Welcome back to the war. The P-47 Thunderbolt didn't start off as a fan favourite. When pilots first got their hands on it, they thought it was too big, too heavy, and too sluggish compared to sleek Spitfires and nimble Mustangs. Some even called it a flying bathtub. But appearances can be deceiving. Under the hood, the P-47 packed an 18-cylinder Pratt Whitney R-2800 engine, one of the most powerful radial engines of the war. With over 2,000 horsepower, it could reach speeds of 433 miles per hour and tear through enemy formations with its 850 caliber machine guns. Can you imagine the firepower? That's 3,600 rounds per minute, shredding through enemy aircraft. But that was just the beginning. Most fighters of the era had to be light and manoeuvrable, but the P-47 went in the opposite direction. It was built like a brick wall, designed to take a beating and still bring its pilot home. German pilots quickly realised something terrifying. The P-47 just wouldn't go down. Even with bullet holes riddling its fuselage and pieces of its wings missing, Thunderbolts would limp back to base. In one case, a P-47 pilot lost an entire cylinder from his engine and still made it home safely. Imagine being a German ace, emptying your ammo into a P-47, only to watch it keep flying. That's nightmare fuel. But what made it so tough? The key was its air-cooled radial engine. Unlike liquid-cooled engines in Mustangs and Spitfires, it didn't need a fragile radiator. That meant fewer points of failure and a much higher survival rate for pilots. While it started as a high-altitude escort fighter, the P-47 soon found its true calling: ground attack. It could carry rockets, bombs, and napalm, turning it into a flying artillery piece. German tanks learned the hard way. If you saw a flight of P-47s incoming, you were already in trouble. The Thunderbolt's 50 caliber guns could rip through armour, and its bombs could obliterate entire enemy columns. Just how effective was it? By the end of the war, P-47s had destroyed 86,000 enemy trains, tanks and vehicles. That's more than any other aircraft. The P-47's impact wasn't just about brute force. It played a crucial role in some of the most daring air battles of the war. Take Operation Market Garden, where Thunderbolts provided vital air support to paratroopers trapped behind enemy lines, or the Battle of the Bulge, where P-47s braved snowstorms to destroy German reinforcements. One of the most legendary stories, Captain Francis Gabreski, America's top P-47 ace, took down 28 enemy planes and was so aggressive that he once crash-landed behind enemy lines. He spent months as a POW, but his legacy as a P-47 ace was already cemented. The P-47 faced off against some of the most feared aircraft in history, the deadly Focke-Wulf 190 and the legendary Bf 109. At high altitudes, Thunderbolts had the speed advantage, thanks to its turbocharger. It could fight above 30,000 feet, where German aircraft struggled. But dogfighting at lower altitudes was a different story. The P-47's size made it less nimble than its German counterparts. So how did pilots compensate? They used boom and zoom tactics, diving in at high speeds, blasting enemy fighters and climbing away before anyone could react. If a P-47 pilot got the jump on you, you were done. The only question was whether he'd use bullets, rockets or bombs to take you out. By the end of World War II, the P-47 secured its place in history. It flew over 746,000 combat sorties and had a kill ratio of 4.6 to 1 against enemy aircraft. It destroyed over 7,000 aircraft in total, half of those coming in air-to-air combat. And even after the war, the Thunderbolt kept flying, serving in air forces around the world well into the 1950s. And here's something wild. The A-10 Warthog, the legendary modern ground attack jet, was directly inspired by the P-47's design philosophy. Make sure you check out our video on the A-10. The Warthog is often called the A-10 Thunderbolt 2 for a reason. The original never really went away, it just evolved. Hi soldiers, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and leave your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to check back in again soon. That's an order.